Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Saturday, December 3, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus, if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Ohio vs Toledo. Despite consecutive losses, Toledo is headed to the MAC title game as the West Division champions. The Rockets were upset by Bowling Green and Western Michigan, derailing their momentum, but all is not lost. Toledo's offense needs to move the ball consistently to keep itself in contention for a better bowl game. The Rockets punted 10 times in the loss to WMU, driving past the Broncos' 40-yard line just once. They held Western to just 188 total yards and 8 first downs, but gave up 2 explosive touchdowns that were the difference in the game's outcome. Toledo's offense outgained the Broncos through the air and on the ground, but it stalled out when it mattered. This season, the Rockets are averaging 33.3 points and 407.3 total yards of offense, including 172.9 rush yards and 234.3 pass yards. When they do make it into the red zone, they are efficient, converting 89.4% of their trips into points, the 25th highest percentage nationally. Their third down offense is ranked 63rd in the nation, 38.8%. The Rockets are banged up at QB, as Dequan Finn, 1,973 passing yards, 21 TDs, and 12 ints, injured his ankle versus Bowling Green and looked immobile against the Broncos. Backup Tucker Gleason, 834 passing yards, 8 TDs, and 3 ints, broke his hand against BGSU, but both are expected to be available versus Ohio. Jacques Stewart, 566 rushing yards and 3 TDs, leads the ground game, and Jerwin Newton, 711 receiving yards and 9 TDs, is Toledo's top pass catcher. Tight end Jamal Turner has also hauled in 8 receiving touchdowns. Ohio is one of the hottest teams in the country, winners of 7 straight and 8 of its past 9. The Bobcats lost just once in conference play, dropping early non-conference games at Penn State and Iowa State. Ohio has been in just one one-score game since it started its winning streak. There's still one more goal to achieve for this Bobcats team, however. Unfortunately, Ohio's win over Bowling Green came with a price, as star quarterback Curtis Rourke was lost for the season with a knee injury. The talented junior signal caller passed for 3,256 yards and 25 touchdowns this season. His backup, sophomore C.J. Harris, filled in admirably, passing for 196 yards and a touchdown, and rushing for 3 touchdowns. In a game between the MAC's top 2 offenses, fans won't get the show they were hoping for, as both teams are dealing with quarterback injuries. That said, the Bobcats may be in better shape with a healthy Harris than Toledo is with its duo of injured passers. Ohio has been winning all season without the benefit of a stout defense, and the unit has looked better in recent weeks. Toledo's passing offense will not be as intimidating, either. I'll bet Ohio, 8-0 ATS in its last 8 games overall, at plus 1.5 points against a Toledo team that's 0-5 ATS in its last 5 games overall. Take Ohio plus 1.5 points. This game will be a showdown that may run a little hot, with Toledo's Gleason duking it out in the air against Ohio's C.J. Harris to prove something to the MAC conference and fans. The defenses on these teams may get a little overwhelmed, and the trends point in this direction. Over is 5-0-1 in the Bobcats' last 6 games versus a team with a winning record. Look for it to run fast and go over 55 points. TCU vs Kansas State. The Wildcats enter this game 94th in the nation in passing offense, as they average 211.5 yards per game, while they are 17th in rushing offense, with 210 yards per contest. Kansas State is 34th in the FBS in scoring offense, with an average of 33.4 points per contest, while they are a solid 14th in scoring defense, by surrendering 19.4 points per game. Adrian Martinez is 118 of 184 passing for 1,261 yards, with 6 touchdowns and 1 interception, while adding 615 yards plus 10 scores on the ground. Will Howard is 83 of 132 passing for 1,224 yards, with 13 touchdowns against 2 interceptions, while contributing 48 yards and 2 scores on the ground. Jake Rubley is 4 of 5 for 42 yards with an interception. Deuce Vaughn is the lead back as he has piled up 245 carries for 1,295 yards and 7 scores this season. DJ Giddens adds 74 carries for 422 yards and 6 scores on the year as the second back. Vaughn is second on the team with 40 receptions for 348 yards and 3 scores. Phillip Brooks, 35 catches, 495 yards, 4 TD. Malik Knowles, team high 46 grabs, 679 yards, 2 TD. Cade Warner, 36 receptions, 386 yards, 5 TD, and Ben Sinnott, 26 receptions, 367 yards, 3 TD, have each gone over the 300-yard mark this season. Ty Zentner has hit all 25 extra point attempts and 8 of 8 field goal tries, with a long of 53 this season. Chris Tennant has hit 23 of 25 extra point attempts and 9 of 14 field goal tries, with a long of 37. For the year, TCU comes into this contest ranked 25th in the FBS in passing offense, with 274.8 yards per game, while they are tied for 27th in rushing offense by grinding out 198.5 yards per contest. The Horned Frogs are 4th in the nation in scoring offense by putting up 41.3 points per contest, while they are 53rd in scoring defense, as they give up 24.5 points per game. Max Duggan is 221 of 332 passing for 3,070 yards, with 29 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, while adding 294 yards plus 5 scores on the ground. Chandler Morris is 18 of 26 for 145 yards plus a score, while adding 20 yards on the ground. He suffered a sprained knee in the opener against Colorado and lost the starting job. Sam Jackson, 5 of 5, 63 yards, 64 rushing yards, 2 TD, and Josh Hoover, 1 of 1, 2 yards, have seen work in garbage time. Kender Miller leads the team with 199 carries for 1,260 yards, plus 16 scores. Imani Bailey, 29 carries, 241 yards, 2 TD, and Amari Demercado, 86 carries, 445 yards, 5 TD, are capable backs as well. Tay Barber, 31 grabs, 567 yards, 3 TD, Darius Davis, 33 receptions, 393 yards, 5 TD, Quentin Johnston, team high 49 catches, 764 yards, 5 TD, and Savion Williams, 28 receptions, 386 yards, 4 TD, have each surpassed the 300-yard mark in receiving yards. Luke Laminack is 6 of 7 on extra points and 1 of 2 on field goal attempts, with a long of 36. Griffin Kell has hit 53 of 55 extra points and 14 of his 15 field goal tries, with a long of 54 yards this season. The Rockets demonstrated last week that teams don't need to possess a strong passer to beat them. In their game against Western Michigan, they allowed just 7 completions for 54 yards. Yet, they still lost the game. Harris probably isn't going to light them up through the air, but he should post much better numbers than that while continuing to be dynamic with his legs as well. As for Toledo offensively, they've been fairly balanced, but may be forced to be a bit more one-dimensional in this one. The Bobcats boast the nation's 42nd best run defense and have also held 5 of their last 6 opponents to 21 points or less. Toledo ended the regular season on a 2-3 run, including dropping the final 2 games of the year. They weren't too impressive in those wins either, winning the couple of bouts by a combined 10 points. Ohio has been the complete opposite, posting 7 consecutive victories, with 6 of those coming by double digits. They're also 2-1 against the Rockets in their last 3 matchups. It seems like the Bobcats should be favored here, but who's going to complain about plus odds on the better team? Take Ohio to win. In their prior meeting, the two combined for 66 points. On the year, Kansas State has gone over 6 times and TCU 7. Combined on the year, the two teams average 77.4 points per game. In their last 3 games, the Frogs have averaged 36 points, while Kansas State has averaged 42 points. So, both of these teams are in an offensive groove. We expect that to continue in a shootout until the end. Take over 62 points.